Lamar, Burrow, Allen, Saquon, and Goff on the MVP finalist list. Who you got taking home the award?
So this is the clip that got me in hot water first. When I said that Josh Allen is unequivocally the MVP and that it's not particularly close. There's a lot of people on Instagram that didn't like that. Look, I can only boil it down to this. Josh Allen's the MVP. Josh Allen accounted for 80% of Buffalo's offense this season. Lamar Jackson accounted for only 65% of Baltimore's offense. Lamar Jackson's leading rusher, Derrick Henry, just shy of 2,000 receiving yards. Josh Allen's leading rusher, James Cook, a first down over 1,000 yards this season. Josh Allen did not have a 1,000-yard receiver this year. Lamar Jackson did have a 1,000-yard receiver this year in Zay Flowers. Oh, and by the way, Josh Allen's team was not as good as Lamar Jackson's team on paper, yet Josh Allen had more wins this season than Lamar Jackson did. He also had a better total touchdown to total turnover ratio than Lamar Jackson did this season. Taking nothing away from the greatness of Lamar Jackson, what we saw Lamar Jackson do this season was unprecedented. It was historic. He deserves all the credit in the world. First quarterback in NFL history with at least 4,000 yards and 800 rushing yards. Unbelievable. First quarterback with
nuts within itself.
Absolutely. First quarterback in NFL history with over 40 passing touchdowns and less than 5 interceptions, unlike anything I've ever seen before. But we also saw Josh Allen. I believe so. Yeah, which is crazy because you would think that Aaron Rodgers would have done it as crazy as his interception ratio.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, though, he had some history in his own right as well. He accounted for almost 1,000 yards of offense by himself across 2 weeks. Like we've seen him do things that no other quarterback has done before either. So if you're asking me which player was most valuable and who deserves the award, it's Josh Allen. And look, at the end of the day, I can take it a step further. If you put Lamar Jackson in Buffalo, I don't think that they're a playoff team. I don't. Well, that's not true. They would win the division, so they'd be a playoff team by default. But they're not winning as many games in Buffalo with Lamar this season as they would if Lamar Jackson or if Josh Allen was there. We have to remember, too, we saw Derrick Henry in a similar situation to what this team looks like outside of Lamar Jackson in Tennessee carry that team to an AFC championship game. So to think that if you took a Ryan Tannehill tier quarterback from this year's NFL and put him in Baltimore, that they wouldn't be right back where they were this season, I'd have no choice but to laugh at you in your face and tell you that you don't know ball. So I think that Josh Allen's the MVP. I think he should win the MVP. Lamar Jackson, if he wins it, it'll be because of the historic nature of his season. But again, most valuable player is what the name of the award is. Josh Allen was the most valuable player this season.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. As much as I do pick Lamar winning the MVP this year, which would make his third one, you make very compelling points. I mean, it's very hard to push back against when you talk about how Josh Allen doesn't have as much at his disposal and wasn't expected to be on this type of level or clip, and he was still able to do it. But and it's the same reason why I'm going to give you my pick for Defensive Player of the Year when we get there. I think you have to reward historic performances. And it's kind of like pick your poison here, right? You have historic performances with Josh with almost 1,000 yards of offense in 2 games. And I specifically went on record and said, Josh Allen is your MVP right now. But when you look at Lamar, hasn't thrown for 4,100 yards in his career before. He finally does. Lamar can't pass. That's dead. 41 passing touchdowns. I didn't think he'd ever throw 30 again, because he threw 36 passing touchdowns in his first MVP year with 3,100 passing yards in a weird year where Aaron Rodgers had a broken shoulder. Russell Wilson wasn't really on top of things. Drew Brees was, could have won MVP until he had that horrible game on Monday night against the Panthers and won like 12-10. We saw some of the weirdness of that MVP season of Lamar. I don't think Lamar Jackson should have won MVP last year. I think Lamar won MVP last year for the sole fact that the media was really pumping it up for him. And I'm like, if you ask me, Mahomes was still my MVP of last year. Yeah, maybe, you're just, going to choose the best quarterback. No, I genuinely felt that Patrick Mahomes, not only on tape, but in the moments that it really mattered, and we saw the AFC title game, I wish they would hold MVP possibly in the awards until after the Super Bowl. And I know they used to do it before the playoffs started. And, you kind of got to be fair, only, 14 teams make it. So that only leaves, 14 quarterbacks, 14 running back ones to possibly come in and win the award. But it's hard not to reward Lamar. I feel like this is the most worthy year of him being MVP. Now, the first year that he won it, I think everyone was blown away from the fact of 1,200 rushing yards. Like that was the most ever. He breaks Michael Vick's record. Lamar was kind of an unprecedented quarterback in that aspect. And he was able to throw 36 touchdowns and he was accurate with the ball. That was always the knock on Mike Vick. He had a cannon, but he wasn't very accurate. He was a great athlete, but could he really win you the big one? And yes, he had that niceness of Andy Reid. He had some of those great moments in Atlanta. But I think by a close margin, it is Lamar Jackson is the MVP. He has done things that I think a lot of people in the league didn't think he was able to do. I think he's been at the top of the league as the best quarterback for a while. And I even said when Derrick Henry, not for a while, but for the season, and when Derrick Henry came in, I went on record and said it. Lamar Jackson will have his best year as a quarterback because he has a workhorse in Derrick Henry behind him. And I don't think that should necessarily discount the help that he's had. But you make great points for Josh, and I think this year's MVP will be the most speculated award, not only out of them, but out of the last couple of years. And I mean, I saw you kind of look up at the ceiling as I said it. Do you disagree that this year is the most deserving year for Lamar Jackson to win MVP?
I was going back to his 2019 season to see if I could remember. No, I would.
Because Lamar Jackson's got over 5,000 all-purpose yards, 45 total touchdowns, 8 total turnovers. That deserves to be rewarded with the most valuable player. Now, you might feel like voter fatigue. Again, I don't think he should have won it last year.
No, I don't think I think voter fatigue is a really cop-out. I think it's a really cop-out. I think it's terrible.
Right.
I don't believe in voter fatigue. Like if you don't like it's the same logic.
I feel like people always use it when the same people keep winning.
Yeah, I mean, get better. Like I don't know the tell you.
Yeah, straight
like
up.
when a team is running up the score in football. Like, dude, like if you don't like it, stop me. Like I don't know I don't believe in voter fatigue. No, I understand. So again, like who we're asking most valuable, and I know it's a collection of things. I know it's a collection of value and it's a collection of wins and stats. Like I know it's all of that put into one.
Right.
But to me,
and Josh beat him head to head.
But to me, Lamar Jackson winning the award this year would discredit him winning the award last year.
Bingo.
Because last year I don't think there was a quarterback in the league that should have won MVP last year.
I agree with you.
Christian McCaffrey should have won the MVP last year.
Yeah.
Again, if Lamar Jackson's going to win the MVP this year because he threw for over 4,000 yards, he still had, I think, 900 yards rushing. He still had over 40 touchdowns, less than 5 interceptions. Like, if you're giving him the MVP because of what he did statistically, then people are going to wonder why he won the award last year. Because last year was like quarterback performance all across the league was not at all at the level that we were used to it being. So that's like really the only thing where I'm like, I don't know if we can undeniably the best season he's ever had. And I always believe this. If you're the MVP in 1 year, usually your MVP is the best season you ever played. Of his 3 MVP seasons, if he should win the MVP this season, last season would be the worst MVP season he's had.
Yeah.
I don't think his season last season was better than the year he won the MVP unanimously.
He had less than 30 total touchdowns.
And it would be worse.
I think he had like a 3-to-1 touchdown to turnover ratio. This year, damn near 5-to-1.
Like I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can.
Year.
I don't know if it can. I don't know if him winning the MVP is justifiable this year based on that. Again, I know the two are mutually exclusive. One has nothing to do with the other, but that's just kind of where I'm at with Lamar. That's why I do think that this year's MVP is going to be so heavily scrutinized, is because if Lamar were to win, a lot of people who think Josh should win the award, that's the first thing they're going to say. Well, Josh had better stats last year. So what you're telling me now is Lamar won the award this year because he had better stats. But Josh Allen had better stats last year. And if you're insisting on giving it to a quarterback, then the guy with the best stats, if that's what we're going off of, should win it every single year. That's the only sticky part. But it's really tough. Lamar had a great year. I can't say he's the MVP because to me, MVP is always who's the most valuable. And Josh Allen was the most valuable player in football this year.
Especially considering how he literally a first down for 1,000-yard rusher. He didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver. What was it? Stephon Diggs leaves. It's a little crazy. I can't remember the other wide receiver that left, and they were just really wondering about the talent.
Gabe Davis, sorry.
People were really, really wondering about that talent. And he was able to do a lot with not a whole lot. So I've got a lot of respect for your take, man, and I can't wait to see how the fans receive it.
Hey, it's AJL here. Appreciate you sticking to the end of the video here on YouTube. You could have chose any other show, but you chose my video, and for that, I'm very grateful. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. Hit the bell on the channel so you never miss a post. Check me out on all social media platforms. Right here, you'll find a chance to subscribe to the show, a related video, and a playlist. See you guys in the next one.